It's another making day, and today I'm going to be making zucchini relish. If you've been wondering what to do with all that excess zucchini, well, I've got the answer for you. Let's get it started. This video is brought to you by Apron Diva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. Visit us at www.aprondiva.com. And the first thing I'm going to do is wash and chop the vegetables. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the ends off and remove the seeds. I need to come up with about 8 cups of zucchini. And I'll make sure I've got all the seed pods out. This will give me an idea of just about how much zucchini I need to chop. So now that they're in the bowl, I'm going to give it a good stir and then add my 4 tablespoons of pickling salt. And the pickling salt is the salt that has no caking agents, no iodine or anything like that in it. It's just plain old salt. Now I'm going to cover it with this towel and I'm going to let it sit for 2 to 3 hours. It's been several hours since I've had the zucchini mixture sitting in the salt water. Now it's time for me to drain it. So I'm going to drain it and rinse it, and then rinse it again, and then I'm going to put it in a flour sack towel and just kind of squeeze it to express as much of the water out of it as I can. While I was letting it sit though in its saltwater bath, I also got my Ball FreshTech electric canner out, and so it's heating up, and I've got some jars in the sink that I'm going to wash up and put into the canner. So I think I'll put the jars into the canner first so that they can be sterilizing while I take care of the rest of this. So let's get that started. I like to put the rings on the top of my jar stabilizer. That way they can sterilize while the jars are sterilizing. Now you don't literally have to sterilize the rings, but I like to when I can. So that just makes them nice and clean. So I'll put my lid on now and turn it up to high. I'll put the lids in a pot of water and I will heat it up. I won't boil it because it could interfere with the ability of the ring to seal, but I will have it hot and I'll have it sitting on the stove. Now let's rinse this off. Now I'm going to try to press out as much of this additional water as possible because you know zucchini can hold a lot of water. Look at all that water coming out. I think I'll put this in the top. Yeah, that frees up the bottom so the water goes to the bottom. There was a lot of water in there. Look at that, and it's still coming out. Just press it down a little bit. So now I'm going to just let this sit and continue to drip as much water out of it as I can while I get to mixing up some of the spices. So now I'm going to add 3 cups of sugar, 1 1/4 cups of white vinegar, 1 1/4 cups of rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of mustard seed, and 2 tablespoons of celery seed. In case you're wondering, this is a spice bag that I made out of cheesecloth. I've also got a little bit of pickling spice. So I'm going to just kind of let this simmer for a bit. The vinegar mixture tastes delicious. So since it's starting to bubble, I'm going to turn it down to a simmer for about 5 minutes, and then I'll add my zucchini mixture. Now I'm going to add my zucchini mixture. And I'm going to bring this to a boil and then just let it simmer for about 45 minutes until it gets nice and thick. Starts to cook down. I'll run the bubbler around the sides to try to look for any air pockets. And I will admit I did taste a spoonful and it is delicious. So wipe this down with a little vinegar, just to make sure that all is as it should be. Jars are hot. Now we'll get the lids on them. And I just put these on finger tight. Now we'll put these in the water bath canner. Put the jar stabilizer inside. That keeps the jars from tipping over. Put the lid on and set it to canning. So now it is in the water bath canner, and once it comes back to a boil, I will process it for 10 minutes. But I will tell you that throughout the cooking process, I did taste it several times, and it is absolutely delicious. So I can't wait to get those jars out and let them sit for a few days and then try it. And as a matter of fact, we are going to a barbecue this weekend, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make it, was so that I could take a jar with me to go along with whatever it is we're having to eat. So it's in the canner. It'll be in there for 10 minutes. In the meantime, I'll clean everything else up and I'll get my dinner ready. So I'll come back in a little bit. So I get that turned off and I'll let that sit off for 5 minutes, and then I'll get the jars out. But I am so looking forward to having this zucchini relish this weekend, having it on barbecue or with barbecue, having it on hamburgers, on hot dogs, having it as a side dish with pork and chicken and so many other things. I'm just really excited to use it. So All right, we'll get these out. You may hear some of these pop as they come out. There goes the second one. The jars look beautiful. They look absolutely beautiful and so colorful. So I can't wait to open one up after it's set for a week and the flavors have had the opportunity to just kind of really meld together. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. And one of the things that I did while I was waiting for the zucchini red, there goes number 3. And one of the things that I did while I was waiting on the zucchini relish to cook down was to make some beef barley vegetable soup for dinner. So we'll be having that very shortly. Let me invite you to sign up for my newsletter. I will put a link in the description box below. It will be filled with all kind of tips and tricks and homemaking inspiration. And if you hate to do laundry, do sign up for my laundry masterclass. I'll put that link in the description box as well. For more homemaking and homekeeping inspiration, click here.